Welcome back, guys. It's been a while. A lot of things have happened. I already tried to film this video once. You can probably see in the title kind of what it's about. I want to be honest, and I think when you can find someone on the internet who is going through something similar to you and can kind of be a person to just remind you honestly that we all have our stuff and that you're not alone in the things that you're going through, and you truly will come out on the other side, even when that really feels impossible. The kind of first thing that happened was my boyfriend and I broke up. And if you know me, you know how hard I love people, and I'm extremely empathetic, I'm really sensitive, and so breakups are hard for everyone, but I feel like I struggle with them for way longer drawn out periods than the average human, and I don't love that, but it is what it is, and I think that that's just kind of something that comes along with being a really loving, caring person, and I love those traits about myself, so I wouldn't change it. This was the longest relationship I've ever been in, and it was really happy, and it wasn't a toxic relationship, and I have so many amazing memories with him that I wouldn't have been able to have otherwise, even though I really do think all the time, why did it have to end? Will we end up together? I'm just like constantly questioning it, but I do feel lucky in that it didn't end because either of us stopped loving the other. It was just really like truly like a timing thing, and I was ready for the next step in the relationship, and I wanted a certain thing and he wanted another thing, and even though he tried to compromise and I tried to compromise, it just wasn't the right time for us to be together. And I don't know if we will ever get back together, but for right now, being 2.5 months out from it, I do think that it was very much the best thing. I don't know, it's so hard with a breakup to really be like, oh, this is so good for me, you know, to like see that this is the right thing. I'm not gonna sit here and try to pretend that I'm happy we broke up. I mean, I still love him, I think about him constantly. I do see myself evolving and being able to find positive things that really have come out of it, and that's kind of all you can do. I also will say that I feel incredibly grateful the way that we broke up. We have not spoken once. Not a text, not a call, not in person, haven't talked. And for the reasons that I'm gonna mention, that has been incredibly, incredibly difficult and has at times like made me really angry. But being farther out from it now, I'm so grateful for that, and I feel so lucky that my ex has respected that boundary, and I hope that he feels lucky that I've respected the boundary, because I do think this would be even more impossible and I wouldn't be able to sit here with, you know, this little smile on my face if there was like still strings attached. So I feel really lucky that I've had that like complete disconnect that has helped me be able to focus on kind of my own things and my own distractions. The day after we broke up, I rearranged my entire apartment. You might notice that this is completely different. I honestly really highly recommend that. There's so many memories tied into this apartment with him, and having a completely different layout and making the space honestly into something I'm really proud of. I put my studio in here finally, so being able to work in here and just really thrive in this environment and look around and be proud of how it looks. It sounds superficial, but it really does boost your mood. And when you're, you know, going through hard time and grieving, because honestly that's what you are, you're grieving the relationship and the loss of a person that used to be in your life every single day, those little things really do help. I do feel happy that I am kind of like over that hump of grief where you just like feel that anger and animosity and almost hatred in your body for that other person. And I did have that at certain points, and it doesn't make you feel good. It doesn't help you. Also, like hiding all of his posts and everything helped me a lot. Seeing like all of his friends' stories and his stories, and seeing, you know, him being a guy and like having fun without me was just constantly difficult, and I was torturing myself by keeping up with it. So definitely highly recommend that. You know, the good old block, the hide feature. I literally think Instagram invented them for breakups, and very grateful to Instagram for that. I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm like 100% in a good place. I think I will be feeling the waves of, you know, missing him and feeling like I'm, you know, getting on a good track by myself, and then missing him, you know, that's gonna keep happening honestly for a really long time. I'm 2.5 months in, but you never know what's gonna happen, and that's what I'm just trying to remind myself. I'm gonna change, and he's gonna change, and I'm gonna have new projects and new things to focus on, and that's not gonna be my whole life. It'll just be a little part for a little while. The next thing I want to talk about is I feel like I'm dealing with this differently than a lot of people maybe would, and I don't know if the way that I'm dealing with it is good or bad, but a family friend recently committed suicide, and it was really awful. She was really, really close with my brother. It was terrible, obviously. I've dealt with a family member who has committed suicide before, and it was awful as well. And I wanted to mention this because I have learned some things from that. And if you are feeling suicidal thoughts, please reach out to the hotline. This is the number. You can call anytime, and there will be somebody who can talk to you and hopefully help you. And if you are dealing with depression and you know you're not at the point of thinking about hurting yourself, I hope, there also is great resources for therapy. I personally found my therapist through Psychology Today. You can put in your insurance and it will pop out with so many different counselors that can help you through whatever you're dealing with. I've been going to therapy for 2 years now, and I don't think I'd be able to be sitting here as composed as I am without having that outlet every single week. So definitely recommend that. But that kind of loss is a special type of loss, and it's really hard because obviously you know that it wasn't that person's time. I don't know, there's so many emotions I feel like wrapped up in it. And I've also recently learned that if you do know somebody that's close to you that you think is severely depressed and having suicidal thoughts, the best thing that you can do is ask them if they have a plan. And asking them if they have a plan isn't going to make them go through with it any time sooner, and it's not going to make them develop one because you asked. But it's really important to ask that so you can kind of gauge where a person is at and you can get them the appropriate help that they need. Just wanted to put that advice out there. And then I think, I don't know, 4 or 5 days after she passed, my Uncle Tony unfortunately passed, and that was really hard. Double hit. We had 2 funerals in a week. And I'm really close with my mom's side of the family, and I love my Uncle Tony more than I can express. So that was really, really hard, and it was really hard seeing my mom go through that. I think that honestly was like kind of the hardest part of it because my mom is my best friend, and her and her brother were so incredibly close. They have like the best sibling relationship, or had the best sibling relationship I've ever seen, and I really, really hate that she lost that. But, geez. But that is life, and I know that he lived a fabulous life, and I'm really, really grateful in these instances as well that I vlog and make these videos, and that's kind of why I wanted to come on here and start getting my videos back on track. I have videos on my YouTube of experiences with both of these people, and those memories on film are things that I can now look back on, and I feel so grateful for that. I hope that you start taking more pictures, even if you're somebody who's camera shy. I hope you start taking more pictures. I hope you start taking more videos. Videos are so irreplaceable. Hearing their voice and seeing their personality and facial expressions feels so special and unique. So I'm so grateful that I have that. Also, really more than I've dealt with a lot of death in my life, and I think that's why I do compartmentalize really well. I try to feel my feelings. I do a lot of car crying sessions, late night crying sessions, but on the day-to-day, I think I seem maybe, I don't know, weirdly happy and positive, and that's really just because I see how fast somebody can be taken away. It's cliche for a reason. Like, you never know how long you're gonna get with somebody, and so you really do need to cherish every moment you get to spend with your friends and your family and your loved ones. And that's another takeaway that I'm grateful for my breakup actually, is I was gonna move. I live like 5 minutes away from my family right now, and I was gonna move. I wanted to go back to New York. It's been a while since I've really been and lived in my hometown. I feel like this breakup and not being able to move from my apartment, because the logistics of it all would have been too complicated. I'm so grateful I got another year here, especially as all of these things happened. I just feel like I'm needed here, and I didn't know how needed I was gonna be. I definitely am a person that thinks the universe, has a plan. Even when it seems like, why is this all happening to me? I'm a good person. I've definitely had that thought many times. You're gonna see. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not in a week, maybe not in a month, maybe not in a year, but you're gonna see why it all happened, and it's gonna make you a better, stronger, more loving human being if you are able to take it that way. And you can figure all that out by having great family and friends who support you and are there for you and help distract you. So I have been, I've been making a lot of plans. I definitely am I'm an extroverted introvert, I would say. I, could sit by myself in my apartment all day for days and days on end. And so I've been trying not to do that, because too much alone time, self-reflection can, kind of get you into a spiral if you let it. And so I've been making plans and forcing myself to hang out with all my friends that I love so much, and go to dinner with my family, and work on projects that I'm excited about, and plan very excited things to look forward to. I can't wait at the end of this spiel to tell you the surprise that I have that is like my big thing I'm looking forward to. But yeah, I've been, I think, finding positive ways to get through it, and I feel really proud of myself for that. And then the last thing, I want to talk about it because it's a huge part of my life, but it's also, I've never talked about it because it's not really my story to tell. So I've really struggled with that, but it also is, because it's a huge part of my life, and it's something that myself and the people that I love have been dealing with for 7 years now. And I feel like this is really proof of you just have no idea what people are going through, to be honest. And I think is also a huge reason why I go about my life trying to compliment people and be positive and happy and just be in a good mood for other people, because life is brutal. It's so hard, and those little compliments and those little kind gestures that you do for people day to day can really make someone's day who's having a tough time. And if I can be a person that, lifts people up whenever they see me, that's exactly what I want to be. And I think that is part of my purpose on this earth, is to just be a positive light for people. So I have a family member with a lot of mental health issues. It's never been completely diagnosed, but it seems as though some form of manic bipolar disorder. If you know somebody who has that, it's really difficult and is different for everybody. In this situation, it's also very intertwined with addiction. Both those things are so difficult to navigate, because if you have known anybody or have been through it yourself, you know that addiction and mental illness are just brutal. And it's so hard as somebody who loves a person with this, because you really can't do anything until they're ready to help themselves. With addiction, that's really difficult, but then you add on the mental illness part, and a lot of times it feels almost impossible. They're just dealing with so many thoughts and things that I can't even comprehend, ways of thinking in your head just on a consistent basis that are so difficult. So it makes sense that somebody would lean on substances to kind of make that easier. I mean, I lean on Advil when I have a headache, but it's so hard. It's so hard when you just never know what's gonna happen to someone. You get a call late at night or early in the morning and you just cross your fingers that they're still alive. And I've gotten so many of those calls where that's like my first instinct. There's just been so many things that have happened that have just been such hard hits. And they just keep coming. It's also hard because you want the best for this person, but sometimes they hate you. This person that is supposed to love you unconditionally and you love unconditionally hates you so deeply and says things that are so painful and hurtful. And I just don't even know how to describe like how hard that is to deal with on a consistent basis. Like that back and forth of like, love you, hate you, love you, hate you, hate you, hate you, hate you, hate you, hate you, love you, hate you. But you have to remember that also their brain doesn't work the same. So how can you be mad? You can love them as much as anyone could love a person and it doesn't matter. And that's very, very hard. I will say I am filming this on a day where things are really looking up for that situation. 7 years later, it looks like we have been able to find a place that can really, really help them. Let me tell you, mental health in the United States is an effed up system and it does not favor the poor. If you don't have tens of thousands of dollars, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars, you can't get help for the person that you love in this country. You can't. So many of these facilities don't even accept insurance, which is so effed up to me. It blows my mind that this is our system. Resources are so scarce. Trained for professionals that actually know what they're talking about and actually care about the people that they're helping are also extremely rare, and I know that there are good ones out there because we have found some finally. I'm sure their hours are long. I'm sure COVID made it more complicated. I'm sure they're understaffed. It's just so incredibly sad how little help there is. If you are somebody who is going through any of these things and just want someone to talk to who gets it, my DMs are open, my comment section is open. Please reach out to me. I am up late most of the time. I will talk to you whenever, for as long as you need, and I will be a friend, I will be a resource as best that I can because I know how hard it is, and especially with this. And I think I've been through a lot of these things enough times at this point that I do kind of have a handle on it and I am able to get through it better than most people, so I am very happy to give any advice that I possibly can, or just listen if that's what you need. All that to say, that's all my heavy stuff. My last surprise that I am so excited about, this is honestly the thing that is really, really keeping me going and keeping me occupied, is I'm getting a puppy. I would have never thought, even 6 months ago, that I would be getting a puppy at 27 years old. I just really think that I'm ready to care for something other than myself, and I think I'm responsible enough to take that on. Having a dog, I've done an insane amount of research. I watch dog videos and read articles about my puppy and the breed and the training every day. I've developed like a binder and a plan, and I'm sure not all of it is going to, work out the way I think it is, and that's okay, but I'm just so excited to have the unconditional love of a dog, to be honest, and to be able to give my unconditional love to this dog. Ugh! I'm so happy. So obviously I'm going to be vlogging all of that, and it is all happening in just a couple weeks now, which I literally cannot believe. I'm like 90% prepared. There's still some things that I need to get, but I might be partially a dog channel. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm making him his own custom little dog bed. I'm making him a dog tote. It's gonna be a whole thing. Everything surrounding this dog is custom. I have the cutest name in the world picked out. He is so beautiful and so unique looking. I just cannot wait to show you guys. So I wanted to end this on a positive note. I hope that this video helps someone. I love you guys. Make sure as always to like and subscribe so you can get that cute dog content. Okay, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.